Well, that's not correct. Hang on one sec. In the meantime, greetings. My name is Hotel. I am, have been, and always will be your very own stranger. And I gotta resize this. There we go. And today we're gonna do some occultists. Last time we got somewhere decent with our party. We haven't been able to promote everyone yet, but that might not be too far off either. Because we have the same gloves. So we can at the very least start promoting our Grail followers, if nobody else. So yeah, today we're gonna do a whole lot of Grail work. Get some actual people involved, that kind of thing. And also I might remember what I was doing last time. Alright, and paintings, of course. So we will promote a believer. In pain are we born, in hunger are we embraced. In the light are we devoured. These are the gates of the body, and this is her promise. Not all that is born decays. In remembrance of that promise, we give ourselves to the feast. And now we have our first disciple. Unfortunately, I don't know entirely how I'm gonna get the rest. I mean, there is a way, but I would rather not. It's not really my style. In any case, let's get in trouble. Passion. I guess the easiest way would be to summon a Grail being. But let us paint a picture of the Watchman. course, the sunset ride is something I can also try. A sharp-edged lantern. A hinter. The creature from behind the mirrors. A hint was once a living mortal, and then a dead one, and now it's something else. Their summoning requires lantern for the light which drew them to the monsters, and edge for the thriving they've endured in mirrors. Not quite a maid in the mirror, but it is something. I should probably start summoning a voiceless dead again. I'm gonna need one. The Hinter do not indulge themselves with showy entrances. A living gaze will shatter them. I know it's here, and that's enough for now. And I guess I might as well send it to fight a snake. And potentially fuck myself over. In fact, I probably shouldn't have done that, come to think of it. A younger sister. Favor from authority. It's probably a bit too early, but might as well. Who knows? Might help. Let's go fight the serpents. Oh no, I've gotten sick again. Optimism is the spice which saves lives. The serpent rolls and roars. In it, its death throes shake the earth. But it's dying, we will pass. That's probably not the right intonation for that, is it? But it's dying, we will pass. And now, let's do that without resetting everything by accident. One fascination ticking around isn't terrible, so I'm just gonna let that be. You know what, Tristan, you might as well fix that. The chapel ruins. There are ruins beneath the water, just beneath, at waiting depth. The lake has risen a little in all these years, but not enough to keep us out. Of course. Why did I expect anything else? Oh well, that's fine. Oh, that book is funny. And it's volume 3 of the Orchid Transfigurations. Yep, for some reason you gotta do it in that order. That's gonna decay to dread, which this will cure the assassination, so that should resolve itself. Oh god damn it. Oh god damn it, not again. Oh, of course you want to be difficult. Why wouldn't you be? If the locals try to kill us, we are probably going in the right direction. Isn't that basically every RPG in existence? Considering I am committing crimes, I'm gonna get another favor from authority. I'm just gonna let this Hinter deal with that by itself. Unfortunately, I already had both of those. Subvert that into health or heart. Voiceless Dead is serving me well. I don't really want the icy atmosphere. I'm not currently getting myself cursed. Not yet, anyway. should probably be replaced with that. Hey look, the hunter made it across the treacherous ground. Yay! Which probably means that that the watchers are getting shanked. I'm just gonna... let my literal voiceless dead deal with the cops. Because the cops apparently cannot act against someone who is legally dead. Or, you know, a much less stupid interpretation of that interaction. Fuck it. Elridge, go stab them. What's the worst that could happen? They could get injured, but, you know. If you didn't want to get injured, shouldn't have joined the cult. I'm gonna see if I can't get me some, some Grail influence. To make more pretty paintings with. I guess I could have done it with the rose pearl dust now that I think about it, but old, unhappy, far-off days. Kill your rumor. Ooh! That's what I wanted. And that's not what I wanted. If I remember correctly... Right, that did actually need to be trembling airs, didn't it? Actually... Oh, yeah, no. I guess we'll just make a boring painting then. Out of curiosity, did I just fuck up? No, you can't use restlessness for that. Oh, but you can use glimmering. Like. Okay, so I should probably have read that. Flay Tantra. Send these two into Keglin Scratch and hope I don't screw myself. Right, I need some lantern. Oh, actually, I have lantern. Just sent a hinter along. I should probably read this. The hinter are the most comfortable behind. Behind the scenes, behind the mirrors, behind you. They slide under doors and kill with class, but they cannot survive the gaze of a living mortal. Doesn't this absurd? Oh right, I can't upgrade. Oh, Gel. You know these things. Call upon the watchman who illuminates. Even though he is not merciful. Whoops, I got myself fascination again. Oh well. That'll eat one dread, so I don't have to paint for no reason. Nobody understands us, or perhaps they understand us all too well. Might as well read this. Flay Tantra, that one I remember having read before. I believe the Crocus Hill is a sealed door and a curse, so that one I'm probably gonna need some precautions for. Let's get in trouble. Make a painting of the witch, the sister and witch. The witch and sister is the other one. Oh no, logistical difficulties. As the sweet dawn of the sea rebirths you. Rose pearl dust. Actually, if I'm lucky, I don't need Grail lore to subvert hearts, I think. Meanwhile, the ivory dove knows the names of all the dead. Look at all this notoriety I'm getting. It is not at all concerning. You know what? While I have a bad reputation, I might as well cash in on it. I don't know if I've read these much. The well in the wood is sacred to the Grail, the hour that hungers, and to the velvet, the hour that guards secrets. Tonight, as I approached, it heaved with the velvet's moss, struggling waves of deep and vibrant green, pulsing again and again from its throat. It surged around my calves, rose to my thighs, and this morning I still feel the velvet's breath strong within me. Once a lady. Once, twice, 3 times a lady. Right, curse and cudgel. Yeah, that's also curse, because of course it is. So probably best to send a percussigan over. And honestly, sell one of these. Oh no, I'm becoming sick. So many things rise from the well in the wood. Last night it was a swarm with wormy roots. The trees clustered and whispered. Perhaps they were welcoming the influx. I found a sleeping soul ensnared in the roots, and I helped them struggle free. When they wake, they will recall my face as I do theirs. That is not worth 4. Oh. So I got lucky then, I think. Sell something of real value. This unusual item will definitely earn you some funds. Yeah, I can't get it back. I don't want it back. The glory is a question, and the moth always answers yes. Huh. I do not want those turning into dread. Haven't that hunter's bothering me for a while? And now I'm wondering if I should be concerned about that or not. The well in the wood is never dry, but it is never clear. One night it might heave with crawling roots, on another it will pulse with bright moss. On nights of the full moon its waters are choked with the fat dappled bodies of moths. Last night I saw it brimming with dark and viscous blood. Gelatinous shreds drifted on its surface, clots of grail matter. And of course that happens right as I over upgrade this. Oh well, that notoriety is not actually gonna be a problem, so that can... Alright, I can't talk about that. Where are they? Here they are. I'm just gonna let that restlessness tick, it's fine. Because when I let it tick, this turns into fascination, this turns into dread, and then I can destroy both. Of course he's here right before. Why am I not surprised? Of course he grabs the notoriety. Jerk. That might actually be bad if I don't handle it correctly. What does not cease will succumb at last to temptation. Might as well repair the freaking mirror. What does not cease must eventually yield. All that moves must succumb to hunger. I believe this turns into restlessness, which is not ideal. Nope, just glimmering. That's fine. You are turning that into evidence. And that's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you. That works. This will never quite dry. Perfect. The vital pigment. It is Not usual for a red this red to survive the death of the body. So yeah, eternally wet blood. Appetizing. And we have made a painting of the Red Grail. She did not split the sun, but here we might imagine how she must have desired it. The sun in splendor. Honestly, I have money. I should have... Oh, that can fuck right off. I should have started summoning the Voiceless Dead. Before we run into problems that we are now officially running into. Okay, option one, we hire someone to take care of it. Preferably someone's even remotely suited to the task. Actually, a raw prophet. One of the more bewildering creatures of the Red Grail. Grail for the raw prophet's source, and a little moth for its chaos station. Try and get another favor from authority. And while we're doing all of that, might as well start using our paintings to I shouldn't have done that. Am I cursed yet? Cursed with stupidity, maybe. Please succeed. Okay, we got a raw prophet. It enters the world one limb at a time, questing like a serpent, cawing like a crow, throbbing like a vein. It will cuddle close against my leg if I let it, and afterwards I will have to dispose of my shoes. Sometimes it divides, sometimes it unites, sometimes she speaks words of warning, sometimes he advises on appetite. Its prophecies are confusion, their whispers confound. Wasn't really looking for the strange streets, but... Okay, good. We have a safety net. Please get rid of that evidence before it gets one of us killed. Or arrested, I guess. Fail it? That has a chance to fail. I'm not lucky yet. Also, are you okay? Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Well, I hope I can provide a reprieve from them mostly. That sounded cool in my head. But then again, mostly things sound cool in my head. Okay, good. Crisis averted. Now, I have no idea what we're supposed to... I mean, I know one thing we're supposed to bring, and that's some people to knock the fucking door down. But for that, I will have to invoke Grail. I have made something special. Am I putting myself at risk by doing that? Absolutely. I mean, I'm not really putting myself at risk. It's one notoriety can never get me killed, but it's not a smart thing to do. Well, maybe it is a smart thing to do. It's reckless, though. Out of curiosity. Sealed besides with stone and binding spell. So is that just the door then? I mean, I guess the worst that can happen is I get cursed. Which, to be fair, would be a bad thing to happen. It's literally just a warded door. Well, that's a free win then. Don't know why I was so scared about that. Actually, the aspects are based on emotions. I can see that. I can see them certainly being tied to some emotions, although I don't know what emotion general good, like, general good health is that really an emotion? I'm not saying you're wrong, by the way, I'm just... Like, the aspect of heart is literally just... there are emotions based on them. I guess joy is an obvious one for heart. What would moth be related to of all the emotions? Okay, let's go through the obvious one. Heart is joy. Grail is desire. Edge is strife or hatred. Winter is general sorrow, I think. The short version of Hot. Hello, Elusive. You've come visit me doing something other than Limbus Company. I apologize. But yeah, the short version of Heart is general health, but also the literal beating of a heart. So it is also drumming and thundering sounds. So you need to figure out how this game works anyways. I mean, you don't have to. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask, because I am a ways in. How does Heart ascend? That's via the Dancer path, and short version. The short version is you literally join an eternal dance. Like, empowering the heart aspect is interweave the rhythms unceasing. Like, the heart never stops beating. That's the entire thing of the heart. You don't have to, but you do own the game and you want to understand how this game operates. It can be a bit overwhelming. Elation or being elated, that's hard. That makes sense. It can be a bit overwhelming, but I do have some experience with this game. I have completed most DLCs at least once, so if you have any questions, please let me know. I mean, one thing I will say is that the game killing you is normal. It is trying to kill you. If you want a slightly more casual experience in this style of game, I would recommend playing Book of Hours. Because I can't really demonstrate things like maxing out my stats because I have already maxed out my stats over here. So, it'll be a little bit awkward. Meanwhile, a Warrior's End. 1 Bone Flute, Moth Pigment that I could probably use, Meteoric Bullet, The Book of the Centipede. I don't know if I've actually read this one or not. Oh, I should probably have gotten rid of that. Oh well, that's fine. Little Dread didn't never killed anyone, except every single person who is still learning this game. How? How did you grab the... Okay, first of all, I am summoning the dead. Painting of the Sister of Witch. There we go. Because of course the fucking hunter grabs the one piece of evidence. Actual evidence, that is. That we're gonna sleep off. You don't got time to be sick. The Book of the Centipede. The centipede always found her way into dark places. When she was punished for it, she reacted badly. In the monsters, as in Mia. I think I have read this book before, but I do not remember it. But I honestly don't remember what I have and haven't read that well. It has been a minute. Wait a minute, he didn't convert it into notoriety. Also, if he didn't convert that into notoriety, then I'm not interested in fighting against the spirit. Let's go look for some more places to raid. We'll deal with Karashim in a bit. Find sites to explore on the continent. Little wars, great intrigues, cryptic priesthoods, mystic crimes. All past now, but what traces did they leave? I don't know why, but my voice is not cooperating today. The river runs through the sands out of myth and into legend. The painted river runs the other way. One is barred to the centipede now, but she finds ways back in sometimes. Well, that's useless. Let's do a painting, and actually hit start before starting it. I do not need this much thread hanging around. Oh Christ, and I've not been keeping up with promoting my followers. Get rid of all the winter influences before they turn us depressed. I did not order a depresso. The joke is fucking terrible. Why did I leave that? Whatever. Why fascination? I'm just gonna power that again. Destroy that with that before it gets out of control. Now let's summon a percussagant. The percussagant, merciless and merry. Heart will bring it, edge will constrain it. Oh, you have already been promoted. Whoops, it's actual evidence now. Which means I should probably do something about that. So here's a question. Who wants to see me get cursed? Holy shit, they actually cooperate. That is not what I meant to do, but okay. If I can at all help it, I would prefer not getting cursed, but we'll see. So, right, fucking warded door. I'm gonna let the percussicants fight it out for now. I can always send the lockpicker, the locksmiths in afterwards. Hey Zan, how are you? Oh god, the voiceless dad's being a bitch again. You haven't gone to bed yet, Dad. Hang on, yet? Don't you usually stream in well, not today. Don't you usually stream tomorrow in like 20 minutes? How long have you been awake? I mean, I really shouldn't talk shit. I have stayed up to fix my sleep schedule before, it's fine. Let's see, I really do not wish for that to be dread. Plus, I would actually like for... I just realized a percussicant's combat style would be a rhythm action game. Meanwhile, more cults, please. That thing got sent home. That's not gonna help. But I would really like a voiceless dead, so let's see if we can summon one that's feeling cooperative this time. I mean, like I said, Zan, I really cannot talk shit about that. It is kind of funny that that's the first thing you inform me of, though. Well, I hope that my terribly interesting voice will put you to sleep. Zan, it's fine. Trust me. I'm just being annoying. It's my one specialty. I guess it is kind of a compliment that in your sleep-deprived state you somehow found your way to my stream of all places. Concerning, but a compliment. Holy shit, an actual voiceless dead. You! Please destroy that evidence. My prediction is it's gonna fucking die. I appreciate that, San. I sometimes see you in my chat list that I really should not be looking at, but it suffices. I blame my ADHD and my anxiety and my other mental defects. I should have sent a second door cracker. And I appreciate that, San. I'll try to do my best to put you to sleep. We call upon the Forge of Days who will end all nights. Well, never mind then. I guess I'm not putting you to sleep if you actually need to be awake. Let's go back into the world of dreams and see if we can get us some curse insurance. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, the door's down, and now the moment of truth. Will I get cursed? And back into the House of Dreams I go. Ladies and gentlemen, will I get cursed? No! Thank God. That's one problem down. Now I just need to make sure I don't get arrested either. The percussicant. It loves the sistrum shiver. It loves the thrum of the tympanos. It recalls with fondness the flaying of the marcias, and so it will not stop dancing. Right, I didn't need a Latin book. I already know Latin. So, into the auction house that goes. Even in the snow, in the silence, in the white, without colors, life will never quite cease. Well, I have these three. These two percussicants. Fermier Abbey. Robert Fermier spent much of his unsavory fortune on the endowment of this monumental, forest-crowded abbey. The monks dislike visitors. Their ways are not exactly orthodox. They celebrate a certain harvest festival with unsavory vigor. Fermier Abbey folded into the forest like a jewel box smuggled into a green robe. If we can make it through the forest, we'll still have to face the monks. That sounds like moth more than edge or heart, but who knows? Practicalities of Forge or the mysteries of Moth. Yep, I was right. I'm gonna go with Forge. We're gonna call upon the Forge of Days. Actually, no. I changed my mind. I want to see what the moth says. Promote more people. We call upon the moth. You are still a believer, I need a disciple, who seeks among the trees of the wood. The woods beneath the mountains is darker even than this place. The moth will guide our footfalls. Success is very likely. I should probably summon a voiceless dad before I get myself arrested. Apparently we're deceiving them and not using the percussicants I brought. Oh well. The effect's gonna be the same anyway. I think. One voiceless dead. Remember, when you get sick, it is important to remember to actually get better, because otherwise you will waste away. One of the stranger lessons this game teaches you. I did that in the wrong order, didn't I? Beneath the boughs, the monks and their miseries lie behind us. Here in their chapel courtyard, a great yew rises beside a granite altar, lidded like a sarcophagus. What's within? Well, that's not ideal. The space beside the altar is filled with broken cups, everyone painted red, everyone scrawled with vile graffiti and otherwise befouled. The monks must have held great ceremonies of detestation and kept the remains as trophies. Buried among the cup courses are other treasures. Some rose pearl dust, the Thirsting Tantra, I don't think I've read that one yet. De Horis Book 2. And a book on how to read Aramaic, which is also useful. Take that contentment, use it to summon a voiceless dead. I guess I could have sacrificed one of the percussians. Oh shit, there are more books. Tantra of Worms and Against the Sisterhood of the Not End. But I guess we should... There is, of course, no single Aramaic, but I will learn what I can. Magus von Brandt's authentic and unique account of the true tongue of the true holy land of the Heimat, written excitably and in some haste by a gentleman in the crypt... Can I have the rest of that, please? In the grip of the transcendentalist enthusiasm, but nevertheless a useful guide on an Aramaic. God damn it. Might as well find more places to raid. Right. How about I sacrifice you? Right, that doesn't work because it just summons itself. Honestly, I should have seen that coming. Automate. This feels like a set, so... So how about instead, we start with Against the Sisterhood of the Knot. Against the Sisterhood of the Knot and the foulness of their depraved customs, Hieronymus Pseudo-Hypnoteromachus wrote this furious screed about the sinister influence of the Sisterhood of the Throned Church of the Unconquered Sun. Right, now can I please have a zombie to destroy that evidence? What's the riddle again? Where is the queen who was not born? Well, the good news is the notoriety went away, so I technically don't really need to destroy the evidence anymore. Hieronymus claims that the powers served by the Sisterhood of the Knot made an arrangement. The Thunderskin loved the Yew, and the Grail destroyed him, as restitution for the destruction of the Axe's loved ones. Hieronymus' writing becomes incoherent with rage at this point. I am not waiting 5 minutes for that to get destroyed though. That takes slightly too long. Hieronymus recovers his composure, eventually, to describe how the Thunderskin entered the Manses through the Peacock Door. This, Hieronymus insists, is abomination upon abomination, but then that most abominable of doors has always been an abomination. Next. The Thirsting Tundra. C.G. Berial, the temperance campaigner, published elements of this in a pamphlet, which had to be withdrawn and destroyed after it became too popular. I forgot that there are actually 6 locations of the Forgotten Chronicle. For fuck's sake. Oh, for... A disquisition on the many varieties of thirst, their uses and their effects. And finally, the unnumbered stones. If I am a bit ready... Shit! That was not the correct way of doing that. I'm so stupid. And of course, I need to get some fascination. The Tantra describes how the satisfaction of thirst may allow a mortal to rise into the service of the thirsting power, but warns of the consequences of rejecting those rarer thirst for common ones. A man who thirsts, O mighty one, whose mind clings to the actions of this world, will return to this world of action from that other place. Next! The Tantra of Worlds. Fuck it, you'll do. The entomologist Juliana Zawistowski eventually came to insist that this text wasn't written by insects inhabiting a human skin. She never presented evidence for her claim. I'm gonna need to pull some shit. Tantra explains various less than practical countermeasures against the worms, the serpents which are not serpents. Moth and Winter are closest to them, and so understand their weaknesses, but both have their own paddles. The Lionsmith crushes them, but that's not recommended for mortals. If I can keep him hooked on my mystique long enough, I might actually be able to... The worms have always been eager to inhabit us. Here are the practices which make us inhospitable to them. There are diagrams. The diagrams are not good to look upon, and none of the practices they picked would allow the subject to survive. God damn it. One moment of letting your guard down and everything goes to shit. Okay, whew. That was way too close for comfort. Crisis averted. That actually got my stressed I was gonna lose my run again. Yeah, you can make some evidence now. I don't care anymore. I'm safe. Fuck off. There is a chance I'm making things worse by destroying that evidence, but I don't care. I'm just gonna make sure that I have something summoned ready for, you know, any exigencies. So, apparently there's only 2 books of the Horus and I should be reading them. Whoops. And this is why you check how many volumes there are before you decide to wait until you have the entire set. Right, I officially am no longer in trouble. Time to phone in a painting and sell it based off my reputation. De Horus, an occasionally coherent catalogue of the secret gods. This is an English translation of a volume dealing with the powers of the wood. This volume deals mostly with the powers of the wood, the moth, the black flax, the ring yew, among others. Black flax is one I haven't heard of yet. I look forward to learning about them. The glory is a question, and the moth always answers yes. The black flax's answer is no, and that is always its answer. This is an English translation of a volume describing the enmity between the Lionsmith and the Tribune of Scars. This volume deals mostly with the Lionsmith, the Tribune of Scars, and their enmity. Are we going to learn about edge dyads? Because that would be interesting. Let's make a painting that I probably shouldn't make. The Lionsmith makes monsters to defeat the Tribune, but the scars of the Tribune are each a weapon. Surprisingly low-tech stuff. Huh. Also, let's start upgrading some of our secret histories. Another very special painting that I can never show the world. The moth. In the forests of the first continent, our ancestors cursed themselves with their own god. I just realized I didn't need a voiceless dad for that. Right, so Orthos Woods. Observe as perch for a great mouse crows. I mean, woods definitely call for moth. I don't know what else it calls for as a thing. But first, let us refresh this voiceless dead. Quite literally refresh him. Technically, sacrifice him and summon another in his place. And maybe get some new commissions going. Because I need money. Substantial edge. Basic secret histories. And basic knock. That is a lot of money. Right, you do need to do that. We had to work for... I don't know what a helmintologist is. Helmintology, the study of parasitic worms. Lovely. How about I don't investigate that next? That sounds like a curse. Alright, let's go to the Orthos Woods. And bring Zombie 1 and Zombie 2. And after that, immediately regret our decision. In the black heart of Orthos... Oh, let's start here. The pines grow thick as hairs on a dog's back. The airs of the inner wood are chokingly thick with resin and dust. The source that brought you here claimed that in the dawn times the greatest tree at the wood's black heart served as perch for a great masked crow. In the black heart of the Orthos wood, we might find the tree where the masked crow met its peers, but the forest itself is a peril, and the cannibal clans who live there are another. Fortunately, both can be defeated by Moth. And so I am just going to decide to trust my voiceless dead. After all, they are literally incapable of lying to me. How much aspect do I need to promote my Grail people again? I might be able to. Promote my secret histories up the ranks. Now, who here isn't a disciple yet? Well, I guess the pawns aren't. The memory of crows. This is the great oak where the masked crow once roosted. Lightning has split it from head to heart, and the tree is charred and rotting. It squirms with finger-length worms. Something glints dully in the swarm of dead roots. A root coils around an egg of lead the size of a child. Perhaps it was plated with another metal once, but the weather has removed all trace of any coating. After a struggle, the halves of the egg come apart to reveal its contents. A dappled mask. I'm gonna move these paintings up one. They are equivalent, but you know. In the mountains, as upon the plains. That is written in VAC of all things. Leafy. Why is that green on oil here? That should be here. I should also use that to make a painting. A Whispering Amulet. Foreman House. Philip Foreman, the helmintologist and antiquarian, did all his best work here at the family home, until the day his subjects escaped. The infestation was destroyed, but Foreman, they say, walks the halls to this day, guarding his library and his shame. Unquestionably, this bleak mansion is haunted. The last visitor saw and fled the dead before they could touch him with their fraying hands. The visitor before that claimed she saw nothing, but she died of despair exactly 1 year later to the day. Okay, so Wandering Dead and a curse. Also, that is one hell of a phrasing. Died of despair. Yep, dry soul. Of course. At least we have the favor from authority. Well, that could have been worse. It's not great, though. Actually, I don't really care. Like, all he did was just pick a copy. That's not worth endangering my cultists over. Oh. I do need them to intercept the curse, so... Well, I'm not getting cursed, so... Now let's just make sure I'm also not getting arrested. That would be lovely. Fuck it, I'll take the restlessness. Oh shit, I forgot to read the other thing. The casts. The room is empty, but at last when we chance to break one of the casts, we find Foreman's library treasure, cached in the figure's yellowing abdomen. I guess I can read this previously. In the room that overlooks the grimy glass of the broken conservatory, twisted shapes, yellow pale as maggots, recline on slabs of wood. These are the plaster casts that Foreman made of the poor souls inhabited by the creatures he studied. In some of the figures, the entry holes are visible in the relevant surface. In others, we might assume the creatures entered by ear or mouth or elsewhere. Matthias and the Amethyst Ego, the Devour Tantra. Let's start with that one. The world does not weep, and the deeds of the scarred captain. Let's write some commissions, shall we? The Devoured Tantra. The diplomat priest Stanislav John Scholar, I don't know how to say that, transcribed this from the library of a Red Law, but his manuscript remains in a private collection in Kereshin. The Devoured Tantra warns of the uses and dangers of appetite, but devotes an entire passage to the star-limbed hunger bringers, who it describes with obvious affection. That almost sounds like raw prophets. A million blazing fires in the belly engulf what has been swallowed by the multiform mouths. A delightful sacrament. Those are the words that make sacrifice sweet. Which is unfortunately not the words I need. I'm starting to consider that I might need a knockbook. Of course it failed. Why wouldn't it? And I can't really wait for that to become a problem, can I? Deeds of the Scarred Captain, painstakingly assembled by the Soldier of Fortune and sometimes remittance man Pavel Shulga during his years in Greece. An account of the founding of Mycenae by a Scarred Captain who first slew 7 monsters to make the land safe. I guess that's more pronounced Mycenae. As I fuck up my things again. I am playing a dangerous game with that dread right there. Well, one of my followers got injured. That's not great. As the captain destroys each monster, a flood of blood rises higher, until at last the priestess drowns and is reborn as a serpent goddess. She blesses the captain, and he departs for the house above the forest, leaving Mike and I to reign supreme after the flood of blood subsides. The colonel's names. The colonel has been many things in many ages. He is blind. He is deaf. He cannot be wounded. He cannot be denied. His names are cunning as only the very old can be. The world does not weep. Brown Joshua found this in a well in Hamath. There's an unlikely story that it was abandoned by Alexander during his retreat from Issus. Oh boy. I think my best bet is to just eat the notoriety. Freeze it in place so that the agent can't interact with it. The unknown adept who wrote this proclaims, "The world forgets, but the ivory dove does not." The text contains a number of prescriptions for ensuring that certain acts are remembered, including a rite which requires a sacrifice in a particularly monstrous mode. At least the thread is solving itself. My voice is not cooperating today. Oh well. I guess that is the downside of not letting him find the notoriety, is that he then picks up the evidence and doesn't do anything with it. I guess I shouldn't complain about that though. The hours that tried to bury the memory of what happened to the wheel, the flint, the tide, and the seven coils, but the dove won't permit it. Nor will he permit what happened to the first egg to be forgotten, although it is perhaps the one thing that the watchman might ever forgive. And as we all know, the watchman does illuminates, navigates, and is not merciful. I think I should probably just read this. Probably have already read the other ones. Okay, evidence gone. I am no longer under threat of being arrested. I could, of course, immediately change that. In fact, why the fuck not? It's not like I don't already have a bunch of notoriety. So fuck it. What's the Suppression Bureau gonna do? A long dialogue between the Mountain Mother and the Vigilant. Storm describes the way in which both mountains and storms end, and the protections they use against those ends. What am I doing? What have I done? This will break someone's heart. Perhaps everyone's. I have made something that spills over entirely off my square. The wolf divided. Caput gerat lupino. The sun was divided, and this is its wound. But we must use the knife, said the lion-throned one. The noose, the flame, the waking word, against those who have passed the free valve door. And so none may pass. That is our law, and the law of the sun. Still not finding the fucking Forge or Edgelord. I need to actually move on to the House of Dreams, which is kind of annoying. Probably might be in one of these. I would imagine this one. Why did I even bother trying that? Out of curiosity, how high does my... To exalt a disciple to a Cyprian, I will need Grail to at least the 21st in density. I think I can muster that actually. In any case, only those with the most inconsolable appetites will be suitable. I think I can muster that just about. Only a rare few, those most suited to service in our mysteries, may achieve this rank. How about we exalt some Cyprians then? Make another painting, phone it in a bit. Flood the board with mystique so that they don't pick up any actual notoriety. By the copper and the crow, by she for whom we hunger and she who hungers for us, I pledge myself to be the feaster and the feast. I will be devoured and I will devour. Celeba, a Cyprian. Celeba's charisma strikes with the force of a hammer. It is horribly difficult to refuse his desires. It does sound a bit sacrificey, doesn't it? Now, if I am lucky, and this comes up the correct thing, I won't have to deal with the suppression bureau for a while. If not, well, we'll see. I'm not lucky. I mean, I might still be, to be fair. I do have a lot of mystique that it could pick instead of these two things. And to be honest, I can always make my own luck. History is less certain than we are taught. I can learn from the study of its blurred edges. Actually, that might just be in the threshold of not mattering. Because the hunter needs 10 seconds to establish himself. Go fuck yourself, Hunter. Also, for the record, one of the reasons I don't like getting my cultists injured is because, aside from the fact that you need to spend money to heal them, they also get a scar. The scar does give them some stats which you usually don't need, but there's also this line: 3 scars of the same type will kill a mortal. And apparently, trying to tamper with evidence has been quite a brutal experience. Faustus: I think hell's a fable. Mephistopheles: I think so still, till the experience changed thy mind. That is some very old English. Also, interesting coincidence that of all scars have picked that one. A line you might find interesting, Vay. This is a puzzle with missing pieces. I might find those pieces in odd corners of scholarship. Maybe less interesting than I assumed. God damn it, I let the restlessness decay. That was not my wisest move. That means I need to be careful. Not to let any more dread get in. Now if I keep my head down a little bit, that shouldn't be too bad. And I can always wait for some more restlessness to show up and then just make a painting out of it. I'm not entirely sure what I was looking for there. I think my best odds are probably visiting the strange streets by moonlight. Because I don't think you can get dread out of those. Let's go have a chat with the Meniscate. soon as I get rid of this, I might wind down, but I cannot expose future me to that. Okay, good. Breathing room. That's what we want. Despair is the wolf that devours thoughts. Well, we can. That might all well. Feel free to clip that, or maybe don't. I don't. Dogel.exe has stopped responding. Or maybe it should be dogel.scr? And there we have some restlessness. Which can only mean one thing. It is time to paint. Miss LaSalle wants some knock lore. Count Jennings wants some heart lore. And Dr. Aladdin wants some lantern lore. That can be arranged. And there we go. The dread is going away. So it appears to be my voice. I guess I can handle this real quick. Meanwhile, while I wind that down, I'm gonna ask Trilobite for about for my script. Throw some erudition into that, And after that, throw some glimmering into that. And while all that is happening, let's go and... maybe not. My multitasking is getting frayed. That can tick without me supervising it. I just need to insert a glimmering into this. Okay, and there we go. I don't need to watch that finish. We're gonna say hi to Cloudy. Cloudy is an overall cool dude who is playing Final Fantasy Tactics. Apparently there are multiple versions. I don't know too much about it, but he's playing Final Fantasy Tactics. So go have fun with Cloudy. I would like to thank everyone who came and watched me today. I would like to thank Sanvey, Elusive, and Valent for keeping me company, as I could not do this without your company. Have a nice day, and remember, don't be a stranger, because that is my job. I'll see you next time.